Hey guys, this is transformation specialist Rob Lopicola. I am sober from sex addiction for nearly 12 years, as well as sober from methamphetamine and alcohol addiction as well. And what I do today is I help people who are struggling with sex addiction escape that horrific grip and live a life where you are a thriving, successful, sober individual. And if this is you and you want to see more videos like these, which I post every Tuesday here on my YouTube channel, please subscribe to my channel, hit that like button and hit the bell as well so you get notified every time I post a new video every Tuesday. So I look forward to seeing you here every week. In the meantime, today we're going to take a look at sex addiction and 3 motivations, 3 reasons why you are likely to be sex addicted. It's interesting because life is really not so complicated, but we as imperfect human beings, we make it complicated. What I want to do for you is I want to make things as simple as possible, break it down in such a way that simplifies why you're addicted to sex, and then simplified ways to escape your sex addiction and live a life where you are a thriving individual. So let's get to it, the 3 reasons why you are likely sex addicted. Reason number 1, sex addiction gives you a sort of fix or a high, gives you a dopamine release in the brain, gives you that feel good feeling. And that's one aspect of your sex addiction. The second aspect of your sex addiction is to escape loneliness or anxiety. And the third reason for your sex addiction is about validation, feeling wanted, needed, loved, and nurtured. So those are the 3 motivations behind most people who are sex addicted. Now, interestingly, I just want to point out, we're going to talk a little bit more about all 3, but I just want to point out the third one about being validated, feeling loved and nurtured and wanted. That's a very huge component to sex addiction, and codependency to relationships and individuals is about feeling validated, wanted, needed, loved. Well, that's a normal human desire and a normal human need, and that's why we are social beings. But what you have to learn is how to get those feelings sober and clean. So that's something we're going to talk about here in a minute. In the meantime, let's zero in a little bit on all 3 here, and we'll start with the first one, which is the need or the desire for the fix and the high, that feel-good rush that comes with sex addiction. Your brain during certain sexual activities becomes a drug manufacturing machine. You have become addicted to the chemicals that get released, and dopamine is huge, gets released from the brain into the body and gives you that feel-good feeling, that rush of excitement. That's one aspect that continues to drive you to actively be involved in your sex addiction. How do we counteract that? How do we leave the dopamine rush from acting out sexually to still get the feeling good, but not from a sexually addictive behavior? Well, what we must do is we must change and do something that inspires you. You must do something that gets you invigorated, something that inspires you, something that gets you going, that you're excited about. It could be running a marathon. Have a goal of achieving a 5-mile marathon. Build something. Build a gym or build a shed in your backyard. Do something that inspires you, that will make you feel good. Physical activity tends to release dopamine from the brain into the body, and that's why I'm emphasizing doing something physical. Join a gym and hire a trainer and set some goals for yourself to lose 10 pounds of fat, gain 8 pounds of muscle, bench press your body weight. Set some goals that will inspire you. Build that garden. Get a garden going outside and watch the plants grow and nurture the earth. Take care of that garden. Something that must inspire you, that makes you feel good, that can still give you that rush of dopamine. And that is how one technique that you can go from getting that dopamine rush from a destructive, dark, sexually addictive behavior to doing something positive and constructive, something you'll love that inspires you. And that's going to help to give you that dopamine fix. And that's how we work toward escaping the grip of sex addiction and living a life where you're a thriving individual. Number 2, the second motivation that drives you to cling to your active sex addiction is escaping loneliness and anxiety. Sometimes the feeling of loneliness and having anxiety or depression, sometimes we need a distraction. We need to numb our feelings. And one of the ways that we as sex addicts have learned to do that is to act out sexually. Find something that is distracting, that consumes our thinking. Because addiction is about preoccupation, obsession, compulsion, and despair. We get in this cycle of sex addiction. I talk about that in one of my other videos. I'll put the link below, because there's a cycle to your active sex addiction. Preoccupation is thinking about it. Obsession is I can't stop thinking about it. Compulsion is once I start, I can't stop. And then despair is once I'm done compulsively acting out sexually, I'm in a desperate state of mind and body. So I'll put the link below to that video. But that's basically the cycle of what's going on in sex addiction. And you're escaping internal pain, internal loneliness, internal depression, internal anxiety. And we act out sexually to numb all of those feelings or escape them. So what you need to do now is we need to shift. This is all about mindset shift. We need to shift our behavior from escaping that loneliness and anxiety by acting out in a destructive, sexually addictive behavior. We need to now do behaviors, act out in ways that still help us to deal with and cope with our depression or anxiety or our loneliness. How do we do that? You find a village of people who love you, a village of people who don't judge you, a village of people who have what you want, people that are better, stronger, smarter, more successful. You surround yourself by these people, and you're able to be honest with these people about what you're struggling with. And then you learn from them. You do what they do so you can get what they have. Another driving force or motivation behind your active sex addiction is the feeling of being validated, wanted, desired, loved, nurtured, cared for. See, sex addiction, the sexually addictive behaviors, gives the illusion that you're wanted, loved, needed, cared for, validated. It's an illusion. It's not real. Because once you're done acting out in those behaviors that are horrible and destructive, you suddenly get into a state of despair where you hate yourself, you talk down to yourself, and you feel hopeless, and you're in pain, and you still have the loneliness, and all of those feelings you've been trying to outrun and escape, it just returns. So what you need to do is shift from acting out sexually to make you feel validated, the illusion. What you do is you shift and you go out and help somebody. Do some good stuff for other people. Help other people. Volunteer for a nonprofit or a charity. Do something good for people in need. It's going to validate that you're a good person. It's going to be a form of self-nurture and self-loving and self-caring. It's going to validate who you are as an individual. So you're under the illusion, acting out sexually and having somebody want me, even if it's for an evening, validates me. Well, that's an illusion. It really isn't validating you. It's all about objectification. It has nothing to do with who you are as an individual. But if you go out and you help somebody and you do some good for others by donating your time, well, you're going to feel validated. It's interesting. They say that there is no such thing as altruism, which means helping and expecting nothing in return. There's always some selfishness to it, because on some level, when you do some good for others, volunteering when nobody would know, it still makes you feel good. I don't really call that selfish. Some people may say there's a selfishness to it. It's self-interest. There is a huge difference between being selfish and self-interested. Selfish is doing something for yourself at the cost of someone else. Self-interest is doing something for yourself that doesn't hurt anybody. It's all about taking care of yourself. So we need to make these shifts, not just in our mindset, but in how we behave, in our acts. We need to start doing things that are constructive, that's going to make you feel valuable, help you cope with anxiety and loneliness, and also that's going to make you feel good. I hope that this gave you some food for thought. I hope that it gave you some stuff to meditate on, to think about, and maybe start to act upon. See, knowledge is wonderful. I'm here to give you some knowledge, but I'm here to give you techniques and skills. And these are to be applied for the success in your life. For you to take in the knowledge, that's great. But if you don't apply it, well, knowledge doesn't mean much. So you take the knowledge and then you apply it. And I want you to start practicing some of these simple techniques I laid out for you today. Please, once again, I'd love you to subscribe to my channel. The more people who subscribe, it's a relatively new channel. More people who subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, maybe even throw me a comment. Yes, I will respond. throw me a comment. It kind of helps the algorithm so my videos can get out there more and help more people like you and me who are overcoming sex addiction. I'm sober 12 years from sex addiction, and I want that to give you hope that it certainly is possible. Feel free to go on my website. I have a complimentary strategy session. It's a 10-step strategy session that will help you, teach you, guide you to transition your life from one that is sex addicted to one where your life, well, let's just say you are living your dreams. That's what you want. You want to live your dreams. Go in on my website, sign up for a complimentary 10-step strategy session. You'll love it. Also, I have a free ebook, 5 Phases of Recovery and Transformation from Sex Addiction. You can download this free ebook. There's a wealth of information in there. These are free. Take them. Get them. They will benefit you. In the meantime, I do hope you subscribe to this channel. I really want to get out there and help as many people as possible, and I need your help to help me help as many people as possible. So please subscribe. You have a wonderful day, and I will see you next Tuesday. Take care now.